Happy Easter to those who celebrate and happy Resurrection Day. Thank you for joining us once again for Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. Welcome back. Welcome back. I am Rosa.
And I'm still Sharyn after all this time.
Yes. So I hope you all had a wonderful Easter. Sharyn and I are celebrating it together and just kind of doing our own thing.
Right, in a very different way, but we don't need to go into all that, but our spirit is right, and
Absolutely.
And we celebrate and acknowledge, and for all of you who do, whether you turn to the east or west or just up, just have a wonderful day.
And before we give our shout outs, I want to give a few people a thank you for my birthday gifts. Thank you to our friends Mary and Renee. Love the earrings and the bracelet.
And she opened it up early because we have a show to do.
Yeah, I gotta wear my stuff. To my sister-in-law Carmen, thank you for the dress that I'm wearing. Yes, I am wearing all of my birthday stuff. And thank you to my brother for my beautiful watch.
Woo! Somebody loves
It's a Rolex.
What?
So,
What? With the big R or the little R? It's a Rolex. Well.
So thank you. I'm having a wonderful birthday week, and I'm just enjoying life, and I so appreciate it and looking forward to this new chapter. So.
Of meaning being 50. So notice she said everything but that. Rosa is 50 on Tuesday, and I'm loving
it'll
it.
Be 50 by the time they watch it.
Oh yeah,
you all are gonna see it on Wednesday.
Look, it'll be 50, almost 51, depending on when you view this video.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we're happy.
But thank you all, and thank you for those who have been wishing me happy birthday so far. I appreciate it. Before we get into today's title, we have to do some shout outs. So, first shout out is Anna M., who happens to be one of my coworkers. Thank you for watching Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa, and definitely for being a big subscriber. And I know you have put several comments on there, so we thank you for that.
Yeah.
Next is Christine E. Thank you, and thank you for your comments as well. And continue to share our videos with anyone who you feel would enjoy them as well. Last but not least is Shay. We appreciate you. We thank you, and thank you for your comments. And to everyone, just thank you.
Yeah, you guys be keeping us on our toes. We appreciate the feedback, the comments, the suggestions. And as I've stated, I'm sure several videos ago, people say, well, where do you get your topics? Well, Rosa and I talk a lot. And we surely have those conversations. And oftentimes we come to a place where, I didn't know you felt that way. And she's like, didn't know you felt that way. And we talk it out, and it's all good. And they say, maybe we'll do a show about it.
Yeah.
And this has been an ongoing thing. May I go on and get into it?
Well, before you do that, I just want to say, for those of you all who reach out to us, and, Sharyn is getting better with answering, but I just found some messages in our Facebook chat, which I don't think Sharyn kind of knows how to get into that.
Why you had to tell them that?
You don't.
Well,
so I answered them, and I appreciate you all for answering back and for being patient, because some of them were like in 21.
Yeah. We're really behind on that part. But as a norm, this is how we're working this, and it's like when you guys make a reply or offer some information on our Facebook page. Yeah. Right?
No.
Not on Facebook, but on the YouTube. On YouTube, those are the ones I respond to first, because that's where most of the comments come in, and it's kind of fresh, and you guys will make a comment and, give us a couple of days, we'll respond to you.
Yeah, Sharyn doesn't want to have to find 3 different spots.
Right. And then
so
some
if you
people
can just hit us up on YouTube channel, or even text Sharyn. She's good with texting.
Or email us, so
all
I'll
of that.
put
all that in our description, so you all have it just in case. But you can still, if you want to hit us up on Facebook, that's fine. Just know that it probably won't get answered right away. So. Right. But
I'm old school, because I mean, like y'all know.
Yeah, I don't even go on our Facebook, Sharyn and I's Facebook channel as much as she does. So, but I will. So I'll start looking, because y'all are.
Okay.
Anyway. But you want to get into what the title is?
Well, first of all, let's take a deep breath. Exhale.
Well, it fits for today, because today is Easter.
It is, and that's how we got there,
we want to just, do something that should probably be done by everyone, because
could be,
be benefited.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying everyone does do it, but everyone at least knows about it. And whether we're speaking from our personal experience or being peripheral to other people's experiences as people bring you into their world, we were talking about forgiveness. And then not just because it's Easter, but just because it's kind of led us to it, because we, people walking around in pain from some very deep, hard, difficult experiences, and you're holding it in your heart, in your mind, and in your spirit. And it does leave its signature upon you, whether you know it or not. So with that said, I was touched by the idea of, let's share this, with our audience, because everyone has been in the pain locker before. They call it the hurt locker, So if you're on the planet and if you're human, chances are you've been here for a while, and somewhere or another on your journey, you've been hurt.
Yes.
You've been hurt. Some of us to various degrees, but, what do you do with the pain from that hurt? How did it leave its signature upon you? How did you weave it into just who you are? Have you even thought about the idea of forgiveness?
Yeah, and where do you store that pain? Like where are you putting it? You know what I'm saying? Because
it's there.
The more you hold it in, then the worse you're going to be.
Right.
Whether it's in, physical sense, mental sense, something like that. Just, if you're storing it, you got to get rid of it.
You do, but how do we? And easier said than done.
Yeah.
So what is forgiveness? Why do we even try to forgive? And I like to, at least for the purpose of our time with you, have an operational definition of it. Is forgiveness in itself is the action. It's the action of being consciously committed to forgiving someone for a hurt, a wrong, unpleasant experience that you've had with them. Now, whether it's in your psyche, and it is, or your pain is so deep that you even want revenge, because it gets deep. Mm-hmm. It really does get deep. So you have to start with the idea of wanting to forgive someone or someone's about what wrong they have bestowed upon you. And again, easier said than done. So let me make it a little smoother and make it a little smaller. So here's my first question to you. Who has hurt you? Why did they hurt you? And how did you deal with or are dealing with the pain that was caused by someone else's actions? That's the question.
Yeah, and did you forgive them?
Do you want to?
Right.
No, seriously. I mean, right? Do you want to? Because sometimes we get married to our own misery. Mm-hmm. I hate him. I don't want to see him. And if I see her, I'm going to look for him too, because I hate them both. It's times two. And I hate anybody they related to. Right? We get really, we go with it. We go with it because sometimes we get so full of the anger and the need to get back at people or refresh our mind of the trauma that it's almost like, I don't want to let this go.
Right.
I want to be mad forever. People been at war so long, they forgot what even started the war, that kind of thing. So, like I said, if you're human and you're on the planet, somebody has disappointed you, someone has hurt you, someone has betrayed you, or done some act that in your mind definitely was not fair, not good, not pleasant, and you didn't deserve it. Right. And you may be very much full of anger, resentment, even hatred. Mm-hmm. So I can't call you on it because I don't know what your feelings are. I don't know where your hurt spot is. But when you're talking to yourself at 3:00 in the morning, and it's just like, and when you mumble those words, I hate that bitch. I'm just keeping it real. And right? I hate her. That's a lot of strong emotion going there. So today we want to talk about it. What is forgiveness? Like I said, you have to be consciously committed to the idea of forgiving someone.
Yeah.
Now,
and I don't think all the time it's a hate thing. You know,
it doesn't have to get there, but sometimes it is.
Forgive somebody that you don't hate. You got to forgive them for an action that they may have done or said something to you. You know, so.
Oh yeah, we can make it light. Or it can get heavy. Y'all know because you're living those lives.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, sometimes we don't even want to give voice to the anger and the emotion and the psychological damage that is done to us, because it's easier for me to forget you than forgive you.
Right.
Right. You know, and that's
I
what
think that's where I am definitely when it comes to people. I rather just cross you off my list, but I'm still holding on to that anger.
Right.
And where am I storing it? And that's what I'm saying. It makes me unbalanced, because if I come around a person, or if I'm in your circle for somebody that I know I don't like anymore, then my whole aura is off. Like,
sure.
I'm just not myself.
You're off kilter.
And I know
right.
that I now need to remove myself. But if I forgive, then I don't care if the person is standing shoulder to shoulder. I have, it doesn't make me feel any kind of way, because I have moved on and I have, released that energy.
Absolutely. Right. I've released it. You have released it. And that's a good place to be. So just for a second, and I'm just asking you guys to go with me on this little journey. Just do some self-reflecting. What 3 things or 3 people or 3 situations, 3 things that have hurt you that you would like to at least think about forgiving those people for, those persons. If it's one person, you know who that person is. So just 3 things. With some of us, it may be only 2.
Right.
With some of us, it's 1. But I don't believe anyone out there is unscathed. Someone has hurt you deeply somewhere along your journey, if you've been on this planet long enough.
Absolutely. And sometimes, the people that have hurt you don't even know that they have.
Or how deeply. Wait a minute. May not know and may not care.
Yeah.
Okay. Just got to say, you go on with it. Go on, girl.
I was talking to a coworker of mine at work who is going through a lot of family issues, and he's just telling me. So every week, every Monday,
it's an update on the drama.
He comes in and tells me what happened throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times he's experiencing so much hurt from his family. And I'm like, have you even told them? Like, they may not even know the sacrifices that you've done or the things you did. I know he was saying one time his family was about to lose the house, and I don't know where he got the money from, but he said that he helped.
He saved the day. Right.
Saved the house, right? And some of his siblings may not know that. His parents know. But okay, sit down and talk. If that is one of the heavy things that's on your mind and you mad because your siblings are now living in this house that is technically yours and you feel like it should be yours, you need to sit down and talk about it.
And they have not acknowledged you or appreciated you, the sacrifice that you've made. So that's what he's heard about.
Exactly.
He's hurt.
And I'm telling her, I was like, and then you got to move on. You got to put it out there and be okay with whatever their actions is, because you can't control other people. So you forgive them, move on, and keep it going.
And look, we're not trying to simplify things to the point of like, okay, you hurt me. You put the dagger in my heart. You twisted it and you pulled it out, put it in vinegar and barbecue sauce and put it in again. Now, that's way too dramatic. But I'm going to tell you, some of us are walking, we're the walking wounded, as they say. There's some hurts from your childhood, adolescence. Uncle Michael did something to you that was just wrong, on all stages. You're angry at your aunt or your twin brother. People can hurt you.
But how do you forgive somebody? Like, you just brought up a good point. Like Uncle Mike, quote unquote, whatever. If Uncle Mike is no longer here, how do you move on and forgive yourself? But you, in order to forgive yourself, or forgive them, I should say, and be okay with yourself, how do you do that if the person's not here? How do you forgive
a person that's not here for things that they did when they were?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's an excellent question. And this is a good time for us to say once again, we're not doctors, and I don't play one on TV. We're not experts, but we're just 2 black lesbians who've been around the world for a while and been through some interesting experiences. Yeah. And we've learned from them. So our story may not be your story, but the situations kind of mirror each other somewhere. And that is, Rosa just asked a wonderful question. How do you forgive somebody who's not here anymore? And obviously, you can, and you should, it's psychological. It's psychological. It's your inner spirit acknowledging, and some of the experts say there's 4 steps, 5 steps, 6 steps, I don't know, 29 steps to forgiveness. But one of the first ones is to reflect on the situation. Because how people, I don't want to go there. I don't want to open up that can of worms. That hurt too much. Well, sometimes the hurt, you're just going to take this. You're just going to stand up and just be a grown-ass woman about it and open up the can, because you need to release yourself.
Absolutely.
There is more room out than there is in.
I think if we all released ourselves, we would be so much happier, so much, less stress, so much, because it's like Sharyn was saying, sometimes it's not 1, it's 2 and 3 people. So you got all of this stress running around. My brother, oldest brother right now is suffering a lot of resentment and having
inner
a lot
turmoil
of anger
from family lies and deceit.
Absolutely.
That has visited upon him, but he is, and that's an excellent example without getting into deep people's personal business. But my thing is, at this time in his life, he's acknowledging the pain, because one of the first steps, and I do agree with this, is to reflect on the situation. And then once you say you scratch your liar, you find a thief. When you find one lie, you find 5 more, and then you find out it's a chorus of liars in your family, because his hurt is so deep.
Yes.
The whole family is complicit. So one of the first steps in forgiving is, again, to reflect on the situation, meaning acknowledge the hurt. Everyone's walking around like everything's okay. Things are not okay. I can't even come to Thanksgiving dinner with certain people in my life, because that turkey ain't going to stay on the table. It's going to go through the window, because we can go into our act again. Because people have felt, poor little turkey stuffing all over this place, Ooh, what did I do to you?
Right.
So, but the hurt is still there. And our failure to reflect, to acknowledge, to put the blame where it lies. And if you're part of the blame, throw yourself in that same water as well. But you got, so I just don't think about it. Well, how healthy is that, Helen?
Right.
How healthy is that? You do need to think about it, because thinking is that operational skill of the brain. When your mind and your experiences all meet together, some of your experiences are not pleasant. And when you find the source of that unpleasantness, it is your duty to yourself, for your own mental wellness and okayness, to meet it head on. So, okay, you're reflecting. Okay, I remember in December of 75, you did blah, 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 blah. I've been hurting ever since. Well, who's going to say that? You're going to say it if it's that thing that rock that you just can't pass. Because it's there. So you reflect on the situation. And as you're going down that memory lane, even when the hurt really does hurt, well, it's too painful to think about it. Sweetie, you will receive the benefit once you go through the pain.
Exactly.
So the reflection is there. You also was like, well, look, let me put myself in that other person's place. Would I have done the same thing? Because oftentimes there is a reason for the war. I don't know. We just don't talk to that side of the family. Well, who flung shit? I mean, excuse me. It is, who started this, the war. Right. You know what I mean? So you're trying to reflect, like, where are they coming from? So right now, and I'm not trying to force feed you this, but just the idea, if you just keep going with us to think about it, once you do reflect on the situation, number 2, if this makes sense to you as well, to put yourself in the other person's place, because sometimes if we keep scratching and discovering and unpeeling, peeling back the onion, we find out there was some information you didn't know, and maybe there's some justification for people's behavior.
Absolutely.
You have to excuse the bells. We were in a different part of the yard, and the chimes are chiming,
and the birds are chirping. So I know y'all probably think we're sitting a little further down.
Yeah,
so we're revamping the backyard for my party.
Yeah, for the birthday parties. 3, you choose to learn from it, because if you've been carrying that heavy weight in your heart and in your spirit, 1, it has left its signature. 2, you need to learn why you even allowed it to get to the place it did get with you, because, like I say, once you get that healing, it makes you stronger. It makes you stronger and know what to avoid in your life, all right?
Right.
How about this? Number 4, my favorite, let it go. Let it go. If that means writing somebody's name down on a piece of paper and drawing a line through it and throw it in the nearest trash receptacle like I do, you're done. Goodbye. And Rosa knows as a point in my life, if I don't call you to say happy birthday, I'm really not feeling you. Because I tell everybody happy birthday. Right? If I don't, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you don't even exist to me. I ain't wishing you no harm, but I ain't got room for you in my head, my heart, or my life.
Right.
And be strong enough to say it, admit it, embrace it, and practice it. Because everybody, when we go through these mega changes, everybody who started out with you will not end up with you because they are not prepared to deal with the great changes that they see in you, especially if it's changes for improvement. What? You don't go out and get drunk and go down to Tijuana and the strip joint? What? She ain't gambling no more? She ain't, drinking and getting naked and jumping into the pool? Or whatever it may be. I'm just being dramatic for the purpose of making a point. Because for dramatic purposes, I say. And
no
also,
reason at all.
That's just what I do. And also, you may want to know, if you've gone through the steps, whether 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them, whatever, and you have let go, where do you go to next? And I think that's just equally important because, some people are like, well, I'm okay with being mad because it makes me know I'm alive. Is that how you've been living your life? Where do I go next? Wherever I go, I will be better, wiser, smarter. I'll know more. I'll be more careful. I'll make sure that I don't have the wrong people invested in my spirit. All right, because sometimes that's hard.
That part.
Yeah, that part. So I don't hog the microphone.
Yeah.
Imagine that. So I don't hog the microphone. Turning it back over to Rosa. Are there some instances in your life, or 1 or 2 places that you had a hard time in forgiving, or chose not to forgive?
Absolutely. And reflecting on today and the fact that it is Easter. There's a quote out there by a woman named Kathleen Pulsifier, I think her last name is, and it says, we are not perfect. Forgive others as we want to be forgiven. And that's what I had to do in order to even start that journey. And that was years ago when I forgave my father for some of the stuff that he had done. I had forgiven, and this was recent when I actually forgave my 2 cousins that molested me at some point in my life. And, I'm still working on forgiving my mom for some stuff. So that's a work in progress. And it's because when I release it, it makes me feel better.
Yes.
And I want to feel better, but I have to have this reason to forgive. Like you just not gonna come slap me and I'm just supposed to forgive you. It's got to be a reason. I might say, like Sharyn was saying, you don't know what the cause of that was. Maybe you took 2 meds that didn't go together and they caused you, just to go around slapping people, and I didn't know that. Whatever it may be. Probably not a good example, but whatever.
No. You just need you need to check out her meds.
Exactly. I mean, it could be anything. So once you find out the cause of the root of, maybe what that is, then it may change some of the thinking that you had about them.
Yeah, how you see it.
And that's why when I say I'm in the process of forgiving, my mother, because there's some things that I can't forgive her for. I understand some of it wasn't even her fault. And some of it was, when we don't know, we don't know. How can we give something when we don't have it?
Right.
So I have to look at so many different avenues when I'm forgiving people, just so that it sits right with me. And it's not just a kind of like a fake forgive.
Right, right.
Because we try to sometimes forgive people and say that we do, but we really don't. And even in arguments.
That is so good. That's good.
You said that, and I'm going to forgive you for that, but then you bring it up next time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me take a little piece of that because as recent as I guess maybe about 10 years ago, whatever. But I thought, as a grown woman in the world navigating, and I'm 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I've been there, done that. Well, I thought I had forgiven my oldest brother for molesting me. I didn't even go to the funeral.
But do you think that was because you hadn't forgiven him, or you just couldn't go? Because
I think it was a bit of right, because it's not like, I mean, I don't think I would show up and do fake tears and shaking the casket and all, but no. But the thing is, I said, well, either am I that far removed from it? It's like, he was here, he's no longer here. I asked that he rest, in eternity, but ain't my kind of fella. And I mean, he's not a person that holds a good spot in my life. But I've gone on beyond it. But on the same token, I had a couple little pinches there, like, well, Sharyn, especially in our community, the black community and all that, we love a funeral. I'm sorry, I'm going to put it up. We love a funeral. Hold on to Reverend Taylor get here from North Carolina. It's going to take him 8 days, but we're all going to the funeral. I am so not that person. Okay, you can nuke me on 2 and throw the ashes by 7-Eleven. I don't care. I've been here and I've left my signature. But the point I'm making is, as Rosa said, sometimes we think we've forgiven a person and maybe not so fast, Mr. Bond. You know what I mean? Maybe we really haven't. I'd like to think that I'm mature enough, I've grown enough, and my heart is big enough, as one of the steps say, try to put yourself in the other person's spot. Well, I said, well, we weren't raised as brothers and sisters. When I first met my 2 older brothers, I thought they were my uncles because they were 8 and 9 years older than me. You know what I mean? And because of the divorce and all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. I thought I was better than what I really was. And then I would say, well, who's going to forgive me if I don't forgive him? Does it make sense? Because it's talking about the active verb of forgiving. And so when my sister sends me pictures of, this is us when we were, 12 years old or 14 years old, and I can look at it and say, oh, yeah, okay, that was a good time. Oh, yeah, I remember the part, as opposed to everything being recolored by an incident or several instances that had recolored my memory for the rest of my life. I'm 67 years old in June of this year, and I don't want to be held down by horrible events that happened 50 years ago.
Yeah, and beyond your control.
And beyond my control. Right. So, saying all that and what we're talking about today, I ain't saying it's easy. It is necessary and it is beneficial. But take baby steps, because there's some people out there doing some horrendous shit. Yeah. Okay, let's be real. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or to say, well, hey, I'm gonna leave that one to God because I can't do it. God can.
But when I have forgiven someone and I know that I have, I can talk about it. I can, be okay with it. If that person is in my space, I'm okay. Then I know that I really have forgiven. It's that feeling that I get when I'm in that person's space that I know I thought I forgave them, but maybe I haven't.
Yeah, got a little bit more homework to do.
Exactly.
I'm getting there.
But then I need to go work on me, because forgiveness for me is more for me than the other person anyway.
Oh, absolutely. So what we're saying in unison is that it's not easy. It is not. It's not easy. But it is necessary, and it's for the betterment of you. Yeah. Be selfish about it. It's like it's about me. It's about me at this time. It ain't even about you. And I had a wonderful example with a woman who I was with years ago. A mutual friend. We wound up having a shared friend years later. And one thing the woman had shared with me, she says, this person, Sharyn, I know you knew them well and spent some time with them, more than I should have in retrospect. But she says, you know what the problem is? She does not know that you have forgiven her. So she's probably still walking in her shame. And, and I thought that was so beautiful and it was so real, because when I went to number 2, put yourself in the other person's space. How do you reconnect with a person that, last time I saw her, I was trying to destroy her. Seriously, from her to me, or did some really unkind things. If I got a memory, we ain't never going to be friends again in this lifetime. Right. But you walk with that knowledge, and you've grown since the experience, and there's some things you ain't got to do twice to get the lesson, right? So it was just words of wisdom coming from an unexpected place. And then she was so true in her words. I mean, she says she does not realize that you have forgiven her. And if I were to see her today, I could do nothing but walk toward her and say, "How you doing? Girl, look at life. Look at us. If I'm 67, you got to be 60. You know, that kind of thing. How's life? You know what I mean? Yes, I've gained weight, but I'm still Sharyn. You know, so blah, 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 blah. What works for you, do it. All things don't fit everybody. We ain't trying to say this is not a one-size-fit-all kind of thing. Right? Because people are walking and living through their personal tragedies every day. And somewhere all that as scarred up, messed up, smacked up as we can be, in the midst of all this, we just want to be loved, love somebody, and be remembered.
Yeah. And sometimes, you know, all it takes is maybe you being the bigger person too, when it becomes between two people. If you know you and your cousin beefing because you owe him $20 for gas, you told him you weren't going to give him, you know.
In 1978.
Yeah, exactly. Just bring him $25. Like, look, it's been years. I know I was wrong, and here you are. And I can guarantee your relationship will probably be better with that person. So, but I'm just saying, sometimes it does take us to be the bigger person just to air out things, and so everybody can forgive what really happened, you know, because there's going to be some angst.
Oh, sure. It's going to be some leftover stuff now. Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, you know, sometimes you just got to be the bigger person. Or don't even see them. Send them a letter.
Right, whatever. And
$25 in it.
And be selfish about it. Make it about you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is for me, sweetie. This has like, you can appreciate it if you want it, but this is for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is the last communique. Yeah. Wishing you the best of all good things, and you tell them adieu. But I want to say two more things. You know, as you do let the garbage go, or the bad feelings, or whatever the negative thing is still clouding, and you know, it's in the cobwebs of your heart. You want to know what's your next step. Because remember, don't get married to the misery. You know what I mean? Because remember, just 6 months ago, or a year ago, or 4 years ago, this person was, what they call it, person non grata. You did not want them in your life, in your world, on your planet. You know, so you don't have to do the complete reverse and say, okay, we friends again. You don't have to be friends again. But you got the lesson and the of what friendship with that person means. And as I told one person, I said, I can't afford you in my life.
Yeah,
I cannot afford you because you lie and you do bad things. As you say, you lie when the truth, will do. You know, there's some people, but now that I know that about you, you got to keep them at arm's distance. So don't keep reinfecting yourself. Okay, I forgive you, so you can come back in and possibly do it again. Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Especially when you know somebody's history.
Right.
You know it's going to happen again. Don't put yourself into that.
And if it happens again, because that's what they do, it ain't got to happen to me.
Exactly.
Because you know better. All right? So, play the tape back again, you know, because there's some things that just make sense. Again, we're not doctors. We don't play one on TV, but we're just women out here living this life and trying to have the best life possible. And as we always say, you know, we're wishing you the very best.
Of all good things. Stay safe and stay woke. And just remember, we aren't perfect, and neither is anybody else.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Take care.